Hello, my beautiful Leo Pride, and welcome to June 2020. We're getting in, we're going deep. This is a powerful time, my friends, and the Leo Pride is definitely no exception. But the sense that I get for you all is there's a lot of beautiful blessing in this month. If you are willing to follow along with these powerful cues and shifts, because we have two eclipses. We have Mercury beginning a retrograde, and we have the second half of Venus retrograde. And all of this combined and we also have Neptune going retrograde. So we're going to be in full retrograde mode with all the outer planets, and we are going to be going through these quite revolutionary eclipses. I actually really love eclipses. They help us see more clearly. They help us lighten a burden. They help us let go of what's no longer needed. We've done what we needed to do with whatever we were given since the last eclipses in the winter. And I have a really clear message for you before we get into the details of the planets and the cards. The big question that came to mind for me, Leo, is where do you seek struggle in order to feel as though you're doing enough and being enough? This month is going to ask you to be brave enough to release this idea of struggle and have a little bit more faith in yourself and in the process, and deeper trust in yourself, and to skip the step of the struggling in reverence to the trust. And I think this is actually a pretty scary practice. Leos want to get things done. Leos want to be on top of it. Leos want to be conscientious about what it is that they are doing in life. And there's this kind of need to find out how to do that the hard way. This month is going to say, no, we're not going there. We start the month off right away, June 5th, with a full moon in Sagittarius and a partial lunar eclipse. Okay, fellow fire sign Sag. Fifth house heart chakra energy, just boom, getting lit up here to say it's okay. We also have the south node of the moon in Sagittarius at this time. And this is teaching Leos an important lesson about feeling like you need to constantly be in this modality of self-sacrifice and overly cheeriness in order to get what it is that you deserve. And that, being more in a neutral zone at times and just being in a meditative neutral space actually does a lot for you. So this full moon and eclipse is going to start us off there. We also have the second half of Venus retrograde. The lovers showed up. Very interesting. As I was saying, Venus retrograde in Gemini. And, this makes me think Gemini is very positive for Leos. It's a very cohabitating, reciprocal relationship between these two, very playful. And especially if you're a Leo rising, all this energy with the north node of the moon, with Venus, and with the sun moving through Gemini is having you look at relationships and friendships and your community and what you want that to look like. And if you are moving communities or moving places in the world, this may be something that's coming up for you at this time. Now, as we move into Cancer season, the last 10 days of this month just blow my mind, because it's like we have the Mercury retrograde starting on June 18th in Cancer. We have the sun moving in, we have the solstice and the sun moving into Cancer on the 20th. We have a new moon in Cancer on the 21st with a solar eclipse that will be visible over a lot of Asia and Africa, or parts of it. And we have Venus going direct on the 25th in Gemini, when we have Mars entering Aries on the 28th. Boom, 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 boom. But all this energy moving into Cancer for you all, we're starting to prepare for Leo season, and we are going into the 12th house. We are going into the most mysterious and sacred of the houses. When we move into Cancerian energy. Now, this is one of my personal favorite times of the year. The solstice and the shift into Cancer energy gives us so much. Ace of Pentacles. It gives us so much abundance, but we have to trust it. We have to trust it. This is not a time to be flailing against your own evolution and trying to push against it and produce in the same way maybe you were producing in 2019. It will be really frustrating. I'll admit it right now. You could have a really frustrating June if you try and do things, Knight of Swords, in ways that you've done them in the past. 10 of Pentacles. Oh my gosh. Leos, I'm so happy to see this. I'm so happy to see all the supportive energy here for you. And the energy here for you is a balance of air, our thoughts and ideas, and the grounded practicality of showing up to the table of life. This is a time to get really honest with the shifts and start to implement them in the little details of your daily life. Okay, let's start with this Lovers card because hello. This is a really deep connective card. The Lovers is powerful because this is about connection. This is about communication. This is about deep connection. And this can be both platonic and love related, right? The Lovers is also what helps us understand ourselves. We learn via relationship. We learn via connection to other. We don't just learn as isolated pods. And that's part of what the Lover tells us. The Lovers also tells us that we learn and we grow by showing up to these conversations and by allowing ourselves to see and be fully seen. Now, that can look like a lot of different things. Every relationship is different. So, but looking at it with honesty and integrity. And the Lovers helps us to do that, helps us to get deeper and deeper into the mystery of life and to recognize and remember that that is the whole point. Be in the mystery, not to escape it. The Lovers really wants us to do that work and not be afraid to have those conversations and not be afraid to go fully into the commitment of showing up to the table of life and hearing the truth. This is a very honest card in many ways as well. So this is where I'm saying, it doesn't always have to be about the struggle or the hard way, but it does have to do with you showing up. Now, there's a new beginning here. There are some new opportunities opening up. So if you've been questioning how something is going to get done or how you're going to make it through a certain obstacle in life or how you're going to move in the world, these eclipses and the kind of this turning the page, closing the door, opening the door energy that comes with eclipse logic brings us often clarity and insight and answers that we've been waiting for. But once again, the deal is we've got to lean in to the mystery and we've got to trust and we've got to show up to the table. Now, the Ace of Pentacles is so supportive. It makes me think that, this Lovers card, it has more to do with support. It has more to do with opportunity and growth. Now, there's also some truth. Once again, we have a lot of this air energy for you this month. And the Knight of Swords brings in kind of a bluntness, a vividness, and an honesty about what it is you really want. So this can be about unlocking something that's felt locked up in your throat, or that's felt locked in your body, or that you felt you couldn't get an answer on before, and kind of letting it run wild. Now, remember that this can be a very tactless energy at times. It can kind of come in and sweep everything off the table. So if you do have things you want to express, things you want to get out into the world, whether in relationship or creatively, work-wise, take a breath and remember what it is you're really trying to say and get really clear on what that is and why it matters to you and not get caught up in, how the drama of it, right? This can be very focused energy and help us move forward in life and break through dams and blockages to our path, but it's also brutally honest. So this can also show up as, if you haven't been sure about an outcome, if you haven't been sure about something, this is that breakthrough understanding, aha, okay, this is how I need to move forward. But the Knight of Swords doesn't want you to sit ruminating over things over and over again. This is very forward-moving energy, and this is very clear, crisp, we gotta go energy. So there's not really a lot of looking back and replaying things over and over again. Once again, this whole message of seeking struggle, we often seek it by reliving things in our body and our minds that we don't need to anymore. We just really don't need to. And this month is really about, oh yeah, I am allowed to look forward. I am allowed to break forward into the next phase. I am allowed to be in the next phase of this process. Now, 10 of Pentacles, our final card. I love this card. Speaking of showing up to the table of life. 10 of Pentacles is the building of a life, right? That brick by brick building. But there is a big message that comes with 10 of Pentacles, because 10 of Pentacles isn't like, oh, well, if you just kind of vaguely nod to what it is that you want and then torture yourself internally about it, it's not gonna pay out, right? 10 of Pentacles is going to say, yeah, you got to show up to like those hard conversations and calibrate to new conditions and open up to doing things in new ways and building with intent and purpose. Now, this is not about the struggle at all, but it is about kind of this very earthy, authentic kind of recognizing that building a life is in the full showing up, you know, like the full nudity of the moment. Now, you are getting invited into this. Clearly, the cards here are speaking to the deepening and the enriching of your world, of what home means, of what your root system means, and what your communications can help you accomplish in this life. There's a very clear trajectory here of refining your vision and of doing some of the quite literal showing up of what it is that you are building next. But once again, differentiating between what is just pure struggle because it's familiar and what is really building and flourishing that is uncomfortable. There's a learning curve. You may not know how to do everything yet. You may have days of frustration, and yet it's something that is pouring out of you. Now, this is an invitational month all around for you. There's going to just be invite. I'm inviting you into this next phase, but you will only be able to see it if you trust yourself enough not to obscure the own obviousness in front of you. The thing that I get from these cards is that this is not a time that is like, oh, I don't know, I'm just confused. Your answers are right there. You don't have to be running around in circles looking for them under rocks and in long meditations. A lot of your answers are right there already, and they are going to get that much clearer and crisper this month. I have a little solstice toast and blessing for you all. The solstice is one of my favorite times of the year. I think the magic of shifting into Cancerian energy is so powerful, and this is a beautiful time to be in prayer and reflection and to also open up to the adventure ahead. So here is your solstice blessing, my beautiful Leo clan. May the richness of your soul shine out into the world. May your light get brighter and clearer. May the mystery kindling within you illuminate the way forward. May your clear determination encourage you to keep showing up to the table of life. Cheers. So, keep in mind, that there is a mystery within you, but it illuminates the path, and that when you keep showing up to that table, it will keep getting illuminated. But the first ingredient is that self-trust. And I love the supportive energy that we have here for you, my loves. I'm obviously riding in this boat along with you, being a Leo sun myself, and a Mars, and a Mercury. So this is home territory for me as we sit here together and talk through this energy. What is obvious? What feels easy? What is just pouring up like lava from within you and spreading out? Also keep in mind that as we move into that Cancerian energy, we are moving into the most mysterious part of the year for Leos. And it slows us down a little bit to check in with our real soul mission and who we really want to be when we embody here. So keep that in mind. There is a sub-theme of that going on. We were going to get so much deeper into all of this over on my Patreon. We're working through our Venus retrograde now. I would love to see you over there for all of that. We will be going deep with Mercury retrograde and these eclipses. I think I'm going to be doing some live discussion, Q&A, ritual over there, so I'd love to see you in June. It would mean so much to me for you to join me over there. You can also find me on Instagram at SarahVerba, as well as my website, SARAHTAROT.com. I'll leave all of those links below. And of course, PinkLune, my girl PinkLune, Tiffany at PinkLune. She has beautiful stuff. Go check her out. I'll leave her Etsy shop below, and I will see you very soon for our next moon magic.